Hello, my dear Capricorn. Welcome to your February 2025 reading. My name is Nigel, and you have found alchemy. Okay, let's get started right away. You have, my dear, pulled the lightning card, and this is number 13 in this deck. And interestingly enough, I mean, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but yet this is number 13, and Scorpio is number 13 in the tarot deck with the death cards. There may be some sort of transition going on, right? Right off the bat, we might see a rebirth type thing, a transition, a birthing process, something like that. So let's keep that, under our hats here. So with the lightning card, we have perfectionism, a facade. On one hand, this represents sort of like a purification, but on the other hand, it's a phase in which the alchemist may mistake the work as done. On the surface, everything seems perfect, right? Are we talking about you? Are we talking about your life? I don't know. Yeah, in actuality, we may be getting tricked by this as a facade. This could be a facade we put up for ourselves or a facade we put up for other people. Now, do what other people see on the outside reflect what's going on the inside, Capricorn? It's just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is sort of like a blank canvas, that white. Let me move my chair in. It is a blank canvas, and you are being handed a paintbrush. So we have, I just realized something. We have Scorpio here. And it says helps you align with the energies of Scorpio, noted for their willpower, regeneration, and sexual nature. So what's interesting is that you have Scorpio here as well. Scorpio is a big deal in this reading. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. You could have Scorpio highly aspected in your chart. But regardless, I think you're being asked to lean on the regenerative powers of Scorpio, the regenerative aspects of Scorpio. Another interesting thing here, Capricorn, is that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto just left your sign. So it kind of makes sense that Pluto is coming out so many times in your reading. There is something going on as far as Pluto goes. And we'll get to that. I don't want to get too sidetracked because I tend to do that. So you have Zebra, and it says open-mindedness. It says there's more than one way of looking at things. You must be ready to accept an alternative viewpoint, new ideas. Open your eyes to new ideas and new ways of resolving problems. Zebra. Open-mindedness. Do you generally look at things from a black and white point of view, right or wrong? Maybe the zebra is here to sort of nudge you into a grayer area, Capricorn. Zebras in general represent boldness, standing firm in your true identity. I think your job is to find out what your true identity is. At least that's part of it. It's definitely part of it. Now, here in the Lenormand deck, you have two cards. You have Whips and you have Bouquet. Now, the Whip is number 11, right? And it could be a debate. It could be an argument. It could be sort of an opposition. But there could be something internal going on here with you, Capricorn. And an internal flogging. There's some sort of either a past mistake, a past pain, or a past occurrence that's happened that you are either punishing yourself for, or you are thinking about it and it's underneath everything, right? And that is a form of punishment as well. In other words, you're not letting go of it. You may believe you have, but it's affecting certain things in your life, a past pain. It's affecting certain things in your life, and with this lightning thing and with all the Pluto energy, especially with this release card here, I really think that this is spirit nudging you to take that final step so you can paint a brand new canvas for yourself. There is something left to do. That's what this card tells us. There is still something left to do. You may look better than you have in years. You may feel better than you have in years. That might be true. People might look at you and say, "Oh, Capricorn has it all together." But there's more work to do. And I think that this is the tail end of it, Capricorn. It is. And you have bouquet here, right? And this is number 9 in the Lenormand deck. And the bouquet is appreciation, right? Expression of thanks. So you're going to give thanks for this. There's something you have to release. That combo could mean discussions with a woman. Very well could be. You yourself could be a woman. There could be something you need to communicate. There could be something you need to communicate. To rid yourself of something. Or rid yourself of the last remnants of something. You do have peace here. And this is number 9 in this deck. And it says, Bridget Goddess, in your sacred name, align with me, peace's flame. Now, for me, in my readings, when these cards come out in the upright, this is something you're going to be striving for this month. This isn't something that's going to be handed to you. Apparently, you're going to need to put some work in. And the work I'm seeing on the table is internal work. You have rock here, and this is 20. Wow, a lot of... Well, I will get off track. It says endurance rock. This is earth energy, like yourself, right? And if you notice, there is a tree growing from that rock. There is a tree growing from strength. It takes a lot of strength to go inward and face certain things. It takes a lot of strength to release certain things, right? So we have... Let me see if I could explain this correctly. We have grounding and endurance that are needed. The obstacle sometimes, Capricorn, is actually the way through. So you facing certain things, and it's going to be different for all of you. I don't even want to begin to, try to tear this apart for each of you. But there is something where the obstacle is the solution. It's the way through. Hopefully that's not too confusing. You have release here, right? What are you being called to release? You are being called to release something. And here's more earth energy, right? That grounding again, right? It says, ask the element of earth for grounding, stability, and strength. You are going to need your earth element this month. From what I can see, in more than one way, you're going to need that earthy aspect of yourself that grounds you in reality, that grounds you in strength, so you can look at things that perhaps aren't easy. They're just not easy. They're going to require some stability. You have the number 8 here, and it says your talent for setting and reaching goals is like no other. And I believe that for Capricorn in particular, right? You are self-sufficient, capable of achieving your ambitions, representing the ebb and flow, the infinite loop of creation. I am successful. Number 8. If the number 8, if you look at it, it's sort of a balancing, right? It's the balance between the spiritual and the material world. Generally speaking, it does speak of wealth, abundance, infinite energy, and it tells us that your goals are within reach. It definitely tells us that. So definitely take each card and look at it for what it is. Don't take one card and obsess over it. You have here Scorpio again. And along with that card, which is also a 13 and is also sort of an introspective card, there it is, right? We have that transition, that rebirth on the table at least 3 times. I mean, we haven't even done the your numerology or the tarot yet, so at least 3 times, right? Pretty fascinating, definitely. All the same things I said before, except now there's an underline under the word Scorpio. So to start here, you have Aquarius in the 11th house, collaboration, memberships, and network. So with Aquarius in the 11th house is where you can tap into your network, right? Your people, your communities. It sort of branches out it branches out past the local communities. And it extends to organizations you belong to as well, right? And the followers on the internet, all that stuff. The 11th house designates your social standing within your web of social networks. It's tangible and virtual. The things you're going through this month, they don't have to be realized alone. You could reach out to your people. Even if your people are groups of people that are supportive, support groups, there's something you're going through this month, you may have to talk out with someone. It could be therapy, could very well be. It could be, there is some sort of support you're going to receive within a community-like place. Okay? You have Pallas here. Wisdom, skill, self-defense. Pallas is a asteroid. It's sort of like a wisdom strategy asteroid, and kind of like the art of war through defense and justice. It activates your logical mind. You approach problems through pattern recognition, right? And rational thinking. It's that grounded energy we talked about over and over and over again. How you approach it, how you approach creative problem solving is sort of lives here, right? How you channel that practice and find solutions lives here. Look to your Pallas to assess your strategic mind. Come up with a plan. And being that it is coupled with this other card, you may be coming up with a plan with a therapist or with a friend or with your community, whatever that means to you. Now, ironically, because you have Aquarius in the 11th house, you have Pallas, right? Pallas on February 16th enters Aquarius, and it'll be there for the next several weeks. It encourages you to see something from a different perspective, a different point of view. And it encourages us to find others with a mindset that can help us do that. And it's pretty much everything we just said. So there you go. It sort of backs each other up, these cards. All right, so let's look at your charms. So here you have the Three of Swords here in reverse. And this is a true reverse, right? This is literally upside down. And this is something, Three of Swords is obviously pain. And when it's in reverse, you're either getting over it, you believe you have gotten over it, or, Spirit is trying to help you get over it. The advice is to get past it, that it's just time, right? You have these initials, which is Z as in zebra. Z as in zebra, T as in Thomas, U as in United States, C as in cat, and I as in igloo. Now, these letters could mean someone's initials, could mean a city, a state, a building, an airline. It could be, I always ask people to keep a very open mind, but these initials, either one of them or all of them, will come into play before the end of the month. You have here, be brave. And it's upside down, not in reverse, but upside down. And when it's upside down, this is an internal strength. This is an internal bravery that you're going to have to dig for here, Capricorn, to face that one final thing. It's like the final boss before you win the game. It is the final boss, and it's you, right? It's something that's going on within you. You need to let go of that last crumb, that last thing, that one thing that you might hang on to, that one truth that you might hang on to, that isn't serving you, right? That it definitely isn't serving you. You have also pulled the number 9 on your die. So you have the number 9. The number 9 is Mars. It's that sort of warlike energy. I like that energy for you. It's that strength, that tenacity, that confidence to face what you need to face, that, bravery. It is bravery, right? Number 9 also denotes a cycle that is almost done. And we talked about that, right? You're on the precipice of jumping timelines, of, going into a new cycle, and there's that last thread, tiny little hair holding you that you need to snip. And I really believe that, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but it looks like you have your work cut out for you, but it also looks like you have what it takes on the inside here, Capricorn, with certain cards here that make me believe that you have it. You definitely have it. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, so let's see if I can move 1, 2, 3. Okay, so on your first leg here, you have Uranus, more Aquarius energy, right? Freedom, leap, opportunities. I believe you are moving into an opportunistic cycle. You have to let go of what you need to let go of. You have to face what you need to face. Listen, I do know one Capricorn who, I don't know why I'm saying this, right? This probably doesn't apply to any, maybe 1 or 2 people, but it's something like this, right? It could be. I know one Capricorn whose father died when she was very young. I'm trying to keep it as not as graphic as it actually was. She was separated from her father at 5 years old. And it was pretty graphic the way he passed. And she has held on to a belief about him because he was a very short-tempered man. He was a very angry man. There were times he was violent, not towards her, but in general. So she adopted those attributes, and I really believe she did that because she was trying to hang on to him. She was trying to hang on to any aspect of him. And what she's doing now, and she's not exactly 20, is she's moving through what she needs to let go of. And maybe one of the things she needs to let go of as a Capricorn is the idea that this man was perfect, or that the idea that he didn't have flaws, or that she's hanging on to the wrong things, or she's not facing reality. You can love him, but you could also acknowledge other things. So I'm not saying that that's for all of you. Obviously, it's not. It could be an old relationship that you were damaged from, that you're holding on to. It could be a childhood trauma. It could be anything like that. But there is something you're being asked to look at here, and there is freedom on the other end of this situation. There's opportunities. Aquarius has been, Capricorn has been released, and Aquarius is now stepping up to the plate. You have an opportunity here. Okay, especially because of the whole Pluto thing. You have the opportunity. Now, you're coming into, and there's really no surprise here, you're coming into the month here with lack of strength on some level. I'm not saying you're walking around with your chin to your chest, and, it doesn't have to be that way. It could be you functioning beautifully on the outside, but there is something under there. There is something under there. There is some sort of inner turmoil going on, and it's Leo energy. And ironically, the next card is more Leo energy in reverse. You have the sun in reverse. Now, the sun in reverse, right? Something blocking your happiness, and I believe it is coming from you. Did it originally come from you? No, it came from an outside source that you internalized for whatever reason you had, right? And you have the Ace of Cups here, finishing out your first leg in reverse. And this could be lack of self-love. The Ace of Cups in reverse could be blocked happiness, kind of like the sun, or that cup is upside down and being turned inward. Self-evaluation, trying to figure things out. I like that you go from these cards to this card, especially when it's governed by this opportunity card. Right? You're going through something to get something else. Ironically, when we add all this up in this column and we break it down, we get 10. We get Pluto. Right? It left your sign, went straight into Aquarius. That's why you have Uranus Pluto energy here. It's time to clean house and take all those rocks out of your luggage. You don't need them. They're making your trips harder. Okay, so let's move on to your second leg, because it's starting to really look promising. You have seeds here for the spring. What you're doing now is planting seeds, and it's right after, you have opportunity, you have seeds, something growing under the surface. Yeah. This month, in my opinion, You are planting seeds for the spring, and the spring could be literal because it's literally right around the corner, or it just could be, figurative, right? You're planting seeds for your future you. You have the Three of Swords. Here we go, right? You have the Three of Swords in reverse here, and you have the Three of Swords in the upright here. And in this deck, this is definitely Gemini energy. Do you see those twins there on the card? It's Mars and Gemini energy, but especially in this deck. So, and this Mars and Gemini energy is literally right next to this, the strength in reverse. So whatever it is that's zapping your strength, whatever it is that's making you a little bit less stable, is attached to this Three of Swords energy, this pain. Whatever it is, it could be very old pain. It could be pain that you haven't consciously thought about in a long time, but it's underneath and it is sort of polluting the soil. So you need to dig that out. You need to dig it out. You have the very next card, and this is the center of your whole month, is the King of Wands. What a strong archetype to come right after the Three of Swords. It is Sun in Leo. Sun in Leo. This is you, stepping into that power of the sun, stepping into the power of Leo. The king is dynamic, male or female. King is dynamic, optimistic. He takes control over things. He achieves things, has pride in himself and his life and his accomplishments. And this is right next to this Leo card, which is the sun in reverse. So you're moving into better space. You are. Because whoever's reading this is doing the work. There are no sideways cards. Whoever's reading this is doing the work. You have the Two of Wands in reverse. Now it's interesting, in this particular deck, the Two of Wands is you can look at this cat and he looks like he's about ready to pounce. It's the look he gives right before, if you know anything about cats. But this is in reverse. So this deck's, the Two of Wands, is a little bit different. It is Mars and Aries energy. You're not focusing on your external. You're focused internal. You're not, there may be certain things you were defensive about. Maybe your defenses are dropping a little bit. I don't know. You're grounding yourself before manifesting or making actual moves. You've recovered some strength here. You have recovered some strength here. See? This is the Ace of Cups, which is what I said a possible meaning could be that inward journey. And this is pretty much the same, not looking to the external, right? When we add this column up and we break it down, we get Mercury, which is Gemini, Virgo energy. Anything to do with intellect, right? Your memories. It could represent, because, mutable signs can be indecisive a little bit. Could represent you doing this, trying to figure things out. A lack of internal balance, but you're getting there because you're planting seeds, and I think you're recognizing it. I think you're recognizing what's actually going on here, at least by mid-month. Okay, so let's look at this third leg. On your third leg, you have remember, and you have control. There may be certain things, like we talked about, that you need to remember and awake from and discard. It's almost like spirit is forcing you to open your eyes and look. You have control tactics. Maybe in the past you have tried to control this, tried to control the memory, painted a different picture of it, or just simply put it on a shelf. I mean, I've done that myself, right? If something's too painful, you put it on a shelf and you say, I don't want to deal with that right now. I have too many other things to think about, and I have too many other things to be happy about. And it sounds like a healthy thing, but if you never go back to that shelf and examine it, it sits there and sort of ferments. So there's that. Let's look at this tarot here. Start with this. So you have the Seven of Cups in reverse. Wow. It's Venus and Scorpio energy, newfound clarity. So you go from the zapping of the strength to this feeling of the pain to clarity at last. Love that. That is great. your next card is the Knight of Wands. And I love that the Knight of Wands is a woman, just because it's interesting. It's a little different, right? But you have the Knight of Wands here, and the Knight of Wands is Jupiter and Sagittarius. Now you go from the King of Wands to the Knight of Wands. You go from getting all this strength together, getting all this optimism together, to the Knight getting on his horse and using it, forward motion, passion, moving into a better place, moving into a better set of opportunities. Now these two cards came out together. You have the Fool and the Seven of Wands in reverse. So both of these cards are in reverse. You have the Fool in reverse, which could be Aquarius energy, depending on what book you read. Aquarius, some people say it's Aries. I honestly don't think it's Aries. It could be Gemini. I'll accept that. But you do have the Fool in reverse, and it is letting go of an earlier version of yourself, not being so quick to believe certain things. The naivety leaving your body. The only thing you have to be on guard for is that along with all that, you don't lose your spark to find that childlike wonder again, right? You kind of have to filter it, get rid of the naivety, but still be capable of that childlike wonder that the Fool encompasses, that setting out on a new road, not having all the facts, but you know what? Hey, I'm going to do this because my load is suddenly much lighter. Those rocks are gone. You have here the Seven of Wands in reverse that came out with the Fool. And the Seven of Wands in reverse is Mars in Leo energy. Letting the Seven of Wands could be a very defensive card. Usually you see someone, holding a wand, ready to strike, very defensive. Sure, that person is a survivor, but man, he's ready for battle at all times. And you're letting go of that. You're letting go of a feeling that has made you defensive, that has made you ready for battle. And that is a lighter load. It is a lighter load, okay? So you are lightening your load here by the end of the month. And you have here Mercury. Again, when we break this down, that Gemini, Virgo energy, Mercury could be clarity of thought with those swords, that air energy. It could be you being able to communicate your feelings properly, even to yourself. It could be travel. It could be travel. I don't think it is. I do think that you are going on to another journey. This is the end of an era, and you are lightening your load for the new era here, Capricorn. And I wish you congratulations, because regardless of how this started, this ends in such a beautiful way, right? So let's move on to your challenges. Now, let's see if I can move this the way I move that. You have in your challenges, you have a third part. This could have something to do with 3 people, the pain that you're in. Could be, or it very well, it says external. So there is an external source that's responsible for all this, as far as your clutter, your rocks, your heaviness that you are trying to get rid of and release, right? But there is an external party. Right? This isn't just something you were born with. This is something that happened to you that you've been carrying. Okay. And one of the challenges this month is going to be balancing that, because you have the Two of Coins here, and the Two of Pentacles, Two of Coins is Jupiter and Capricorn, feeling imbalanced. And for parts of the month, you may feel that way, and it may be a little bit of a challenge. But we saw your legs, and you just come out of this so well. You have a strength here in reverse. Again, that Leo energy. There's going to be times this month you don't feel your strength the way you should. Maybe you're not used to that. Maybe you're used to being the strong one, the grounded one, the one with all the answers, the one with all the strength, the one with all that, confidence. And maybe this coming up twice is a warning to you that if you start to feel that way, instead of panicking, trust the process, because you're almost there. You have here the King of Coins. King of Coins is what? It's Sun in Taurus. But more than that, right? It is earth energy like yourself. And it's stability. It's long-term potential. It's seeds that you plant that have roots and grow. generational wealth. What is wealth? It could be financial. It could be internal. It could be peace. Whatever it is you consider wealth, right? What is abundance to you? But there is a struggle here. There is a challenge here that I think you're going to meet. I think you're going to meet this challenge head on. Don't see any sideways cards here, and I really believe that, Capricorn. And I'm trying to. There you go. When we add this up and break it down, guess what we get? Pluto. It's happening for a reason. What have you learned? Pluto was in Capricorn for 16 years. What have you learned the last 16 years? And what has changed inside you since November? Something's happened. Something, even if it's only you that feels it and knows that it's there. These are questions you need to ask yourself. Now let's look at your amazing opportunities. You have guilt and sabotage. You may feel, listen, in my opinion, this is a suffering card. And this is something you're going to have to do for part of the month in order to get something else, in order to be rid of it. Be rid of it, really rid of it. Because look at these cards. This is an opportunity pile. So you have an opportunity to get rid of this once and for all. It's fascinating. We talked about the Fool being in reverse, and I said, don't lose that childlike wonder along with the naivety. And here it is. You're going to have an opportunity, Capricorn, to regain some of that childlike wonder that may have been lost. That may have been lost because of external forces, right? Definitely you have that Aquarian energy. In my opinion, it's really Aquarius, honestly. And you have here the Two of Cups, Venus in Cancer. You're going to have the opportunity to be in a beautiful love situation. A relationship is making its way towards you to meet that healed version of you. So definitely the seeds you're planting here are going to lead to something really nice. And you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is my I'm still standing card. Resilience. Yeah. Man, this is like the comeback of the century. I'm not saying you were ever not, that you were buried. Maybe you were. I feel like this is the comeback of the century. I do. I think you're going to come out of this so much better. So much better. Or Capricorn, please, for February. The Sun. Your perseverance is rewarded. Beautiful energy. And at the bottom, we have seduction, passion, and romance await. I do believe that Two of Cups is calling to you here. That person needs that healed version of you. So please work on yourself quietly. Find that internal peace. Don't look at things in black and white, right and wrong. Definitely ground yourself, but be open. Be open to that Scorpion energy of transformation and repressed secrets that I think are affecting you right now. Okay, I wish you all the luck. You don't need it, and I will see you. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot your numerology. And sometimes I do that, especially when a reading is this, I don't know, inspiring? Definitely inspiring. Okay, so when we add all the numbers up here and we break it down, right, we get the number 8, which is Saturn energy. That's your it is your ruling planet. It's also Aquarius's ruling planet. How interesting is that? We talked about that, right? It's the Lord of karma. It's lessons. It's things you have to go through. It's things that you need to learn, and that I think you're doing beautifully. As far as the numbers go, we mentioned 2 and 9 the most, which is Mars and the Moon. The Moon will represent your intuition, and it will also represent things may not be as clear as possible every moment of the month. You have to feel your way in the dark a couple of times, but you have that Martian energy that we talked about, that confidence that will pull you through in the end. Definitely. Your lucky numbers are 20, 13, 11, 9, 8, and 10. your signs, we mentioned, I mean, I'm sorry, your planets. The most mentioned planet in this reading was Mars. So Mars has come out twice. As far as I'm concerned, it's very, very important for you to have that tenacity, that forward motion, right? That I'm still standing, because that's wand energy, right? That I'm still standing energy. As far as planets go, the planets we mentioned the most in general are, signs. I don't know why I'm fumbling for words. It's odd. So the signs that we mention the most are Capricorn, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Aquarius, Aries, and Sagittarius. Now, the one that we mentioned the most was Gemini, and that is Mercury, your communication, your crisp thinking, right? The second one, very close second, is Pluto. It's Scorpio. The words you say to yourself matters. The clarity of thought you have in this situation matters. Pluto matters. You are going to not only get through this, but damn, you're going to get through it, and you're going to level up. You just are. Keep me posted here, Capricorn. Namaste.